Parallel realities. You guys love parallel realities because you want to go from one reality into another. This isn't my usual setup, but I thought this would make a drastic point on how you can go from one reality to another reality simply by walking through a door. This is Susie, your beautiful Millionaire Swan Queen. Welcome back to the garden, my beautiful duckling. Subscribe, smash the like button, share my video. I will love you forever. I am a life coach, the best life coach, with a 99.6% success rate in getting people back together with the love of their life. If you would be interested in working with me one-on-one, know that I specialize in relationships, but it's not the only thing I do. And you can check out the links in the description below to join my paid Facebook group, where it's the only place I go live, or book a one-on-one coaching. So what is a parallel reality? It's another world that you want to live in. It is a higher vibration, or it is walking through a doorway. It's really this simple now. So we're going to use two realities. We're going to use the reality that you're currently living in, and we're going to call this the trauma reality. It is the reality where things are not working out the way you want. There are things you don't like, and you want to change them. And then we're going to use happy for the reality you want. Well, I'm standing in the doorway, so I can easily step out, or I can easily step in to the doorway. And I have completely left one room and walked into another. So if I'm standing in the middle of the doorway, there's a pretty easy procedure to move to a different reality. So trauma Susie, she grew up with her step-parents, abandoned by her biological parents. She thought she was getting away from the abuse she got with the guy. Her ex turned out to be not such a nice guy. How did she stay in the state, the reality, the vibration of happy Susie, even though she had all of this trauma Susie inside of her? So reality jumping is walk through a doorway. Literally, that's it. But your steps to walk through the doorway. Number one, you must choose. You must choose what reality you want to be in. Number two, give that reality a title. And number three, which might be the most important, there's only one choice. You don't want to live in a doorway. This is the in-between. So you are in a job you don't like, your specific person isn't conforming, your bank balance isn't what you want, you're in this doorway. So you're kind of leaning here. You want to get into this doorway. So that's your new story. You're happily married. You have your dream job. Your bank balance is where you want it. So you would be happy in this doorway. But we talk about the old problems. We go back to this doorway. Shutting off my heat because I'm standing next to it. So we're in this doorway, and see, we just got a problem and we had to go manifest the problem away. So my heat kicked on. It's going to hear it in my headset, which is going to translate across my YouTube. And you guys are going to go, oh my God, Susie, what's the sound? And trauma Susie would not act in a good way. She would think, oh my gosh, oh no, what are they doing? They don't like me. What if something goes wrong? What if they stop watching my videos? But happy Susie goes, oh, we shut it off. It's fixed. We can move on. So when my ex would cause a problem, and I'd be over here and we'd be like at each other's throats. And as soon as we finished, I would walk away and I would do the same thing you guys do in your head. I would talk about how much of a jerk he was, how mean he was, why can't he be nice? I want him to be this way, I want him to do that. And then I would let it go. And I would choose to move over here into my happy state. And I did it so fast, it was literally stepping through a doorway. 15 minutes to walk into the door. And I was happy Susie. So trauma Susie still showed up because we still fought. We still had problems. And then happy Susie would come back. This is a normal procession in life. We walk through doorways all the time. But what is happening is you're stuck in the in-between because you're talking about the bad things that are going on that you don't like, and you're wishing, hoping, and dreaming for the good things. That's my clicker. So you're wishing and hoping for the good things. How do you get the good things? Well, first you got to stop talking about this. You got to stop talking. So you're in a toxic relationship and you have to deal with that person. They're gaslighting you, but in a good way. Because we all hate gaslighting, but let's reframe it. Let's revise it. Let's create a new story. How about they're gaslighting me and it's always good? So now I'm in the happy state because we're no longer fighting, bickering, arguing, and I'm staying here. Your job isn't to stay in the in-between when you parallel jump. Your job is to stay in the reality you want. So when you keep going back and forth, what are you getting? And the thing is, the more you talk about the bad stuff, the more you cement yourself in the reality you don't want to be in. So I'm walking to my happy reality, and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I'm upset, but I choose to be happy. And I allow the universe to bring me whatever I desire quickly, easily, effortlessly, in the most fun way. So guess what? I'm in a happy reality and I'm getting what I want in a fun way. It's easy. The universe is delivering it for me because I allowed it. I made a choice, and that's the hardest thing. You have to choose which side of the door you're on. Are you on the door of problems, chaos, resistance, doubt, trauma? Or are you on the door of happiness, love, joy, a fun and easy life? Because there's only one choice in this thing. But when you're in between, you got two choices. You can eat Chinese and pizza at the same time. Not sure I would want to, but whenever my kids say, I didn't know what I want to eat. What do you guys want to eat? I don't know, Chinese or pizza. I give you two choices. Well, in manifesting, you're told that you have to give one choice. There's only one choice. Nobody has free will. Or, in my case, I give everybody free will to lovingly and happily, in the most fun way, give me whatever I want. I'm not micromanaging my specific person, my kids, my friends, my family. I'm micromanaging my thoughts to get out of the in-between and to stay out of trauma. Well, here's what even steps this out more. You can only be in trauma or happy. So you're only in trauma when you talk about it. Let me say that again. You are only in trauma when you talk about it. You're only in happy when you talk about it. So mental diets is stop talking. Stop talking about trauma. Start talking about happiness. Stop talking about what can go wrong and start talking about what can go right. So you made the choice and you said, you know what? I'm done with this. It's irrelevant. Eventually I'm going to get my manifestation anyways. So I choose to be happy. Now you walked into this door of happiness. To stay in this, every day you get up, you have to choose to be happy. Every day you get up, you got to find a reason to be happy. Just like you have to find a reason to stay with your specific person, because you can be together for 16 years and you can be the person that manifested it, but you grow apart. You have nothing in common anymore and you get a divorce. So trauma, Susie would put up with Jared's bullshit. She would say, it's okay that you disrespect me. It's okay that you don't put me first. Happy Susie is Jason, who walked away because his happiness was more important. So does Susie want to stand in the in-between and go, oh, I want trauma Jared because he makes me feel really good, or I want to be happy with Jason? You have choices. I have a fetish for the J names. I can change Jared and I can drag him kicking and screaming against his will into happy Susie's life, because I can raise him up to be kind and loving and supportive. But this is where we get stuck in the in-between. We still talk about all the bad things he did. Then you're going to have happy times in your relationship and bad times in your relationship. You're going to have events that make you feel so loved, and then you're going to be over here going, I think I'm married to a narcissist. But they're not really a narcissist. It's because you didn't stop talking about all of the bad behavior, all of the things that you didn't like. When you are jumping realities, I teach you that just with your words. Why am I happily married? So Trauma Susie can be happily married to Jared and talk about all the bad things that he does, because we see people do it all the time. But to truly be happily married, would you really be talking about all the bad things that they do? Would you be going to work and sitting in the break room with your coworkers and telling the state of affairs of your relationship, how he's cheating, how he's disrespecting you, how he's gaslighting you? Are you really, truly happy over here? You thought so until you saw him with a third party, and then you started boo-hooing. Until you saw that he just called you or texted you and you got a booty call, and oh my God, you jumped really fast over here. And then when he left, he started his bullshit again. So you kept going back and forth through this doorway, and you're stuck, literally stuck. So that goes to that, you have to make a decision. You have to decide what you want, and that's getting clear. Then you need to change your story, and changing your story is, I'm no longer going to live in this life of drama and chaos. I'm not going to resist the good things that are showing up for me. So I'm going to live in this reality where I am happy. I have all of the wonderful things that I have been imagining, scripting, speaking out loud, whatever technique you're doing to get your desire. So now I'm over here. And this is why people let go of their specific person, because they look back and they go, I'm not really sure I want that person. It's going to be a lot of work to raise them up and pull them over here. So should I create a new one? Or somebody else shows up, so a Jason shows up. And because you walked through the doorway, so you walked through the doorway. As soon as you stepped over, Jason showed up. And when Jason showed up, he did everything that you wanted this person to do. But notice where your focus is. It's only on happy, and Jason's bringing happiness and joy into your life. So then you turn around and you look back. And you're like, why can't you do this? I wanted you to do that. So you pulled yourself out of happy and threw yourself back into trauma. This is exactly why we say circumstances don't matter, your mental diet, and I tell you over and over again, stop micromanaging your person and micromanage your thoughts. Because what did I just do? I got a bird before land. He's really amazing. And now I have to decide, do I want this amazing person standing in front of me? Or do I want to go back into trauma and raise my person up so he can cross the door and we can live happily ever after? Well, trauma person actually will tolerate their behavior. The person who was hurt, it's called trauma bond. So a lot of people don't really love the person that was toxic. They like this person that was standing in front of them, that made them feel so energized and beautiful and gave them the world and spoiled them. So if they were a true narcissist, they would never walk through this door. They wouldn't, because they gaslit you and they stayed in this because they only deposited in your bank, in your relationship bank in the beginning. And this is why you're stuck, because you're labeling this person toxic, narcissistic. You're saying they're bipolar, or they have some form of mental illness, PTSD, anxiety, depression. So if you stop talking about depression, because when you're depressed, your head goes down, your voice gets lowered, your shoulders slump. I am depressed. I'm happy. You just parallel jumped into a different reality. I did it literally right in front of your eyes in a split second. And to stay in the story that you have created, all right? You have two sides of your brain. You have the monster side of your brain that goes, what if he doesn't change? What if everything goes wrong? What am I doing that I deserve this? I'm not worthy of a good relationship. Why does this always happen to me? God, what is wrong with me? I must be really broken. It's your logical side of your brain. Its job is to protect you. And that's great if there's a fire, somebody's following you, and you need to get away, and your brain says, you're being followed. Get away from this person. This person's following you. Get away. Pay attention to your surroundings because you're being followed. So you happen to notice that there's somebody that you know, and you walk up to them and you slide your arm through them and you're like, hey, I need help. I'm being followed. And you describe the person that's following you. That's great for that side of your brain. Your creative side of the brain created Jason, this amazing person who's doing everything you want your specific person to do. So you have to decide, because you can easily say, Jared parallel jumped into a new reality, and he is the most amazing man I've ever met. You got him back now. This is the hard part. You don't want to go back in this doorway of trauma, happy, trauma, happy. You don't want to be stuck. So every day you get up, you have to choose to be happily married. And every day you have to say this. There's no other choice. No matter what, when you wake up in the morning, you have to say, I'm happily married. No matter what, I am happily married to this person. It is so wonderful to be happily married to this person. I have the most amazing life. I love my job. The universe delivers me wonderful surprises all day long. Because when you stop saying it, you see something. And then you start getting pulled back into the in-between. And then there's another third party. And then there is him disrespecting you. So happily married is a reality. And you need to stay in that reality. And it's no different, struggle, abundance. You got to stop talking about what's in the old reality. And I'm hoping that I'm really trying to get through that it is this simple. It is literally walking through a doorway. You stop whatever you want and you start the new. And the way you keep the new is to keep praising it. Keep thanking. Keep telling the universe more, more, more. So Jason is the loving side of your brain. Jared is the monster side of your brain. Jared is doing all these bad things to you. So you get into this doorway and you step across, and Jason shows you the love of a lifetime. And I'm using different names so that you can emphasize here. So Trauma Susie is happily married to Jared. That's this reality. Because they say in every reality, you could be a different person. So in different realities, Susie would only be married to Jared. In this reality, trauma. But in this reality, Susie's happy and married to Jason. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to be traumatized and married, or do you want to be happily married? Do you want to be anxious or happy? Do you want to be micromanaging everything your specific person does, or micromanaging the fact that you have a happy life, you are fulfilled, and you are loving waking up in the morning and going about your day? Do you want to know the number one reason why people hit the snooze button? Because they don't like their life. So they hit the snooze button to spend an extra 5 minutes in bed so they don't have to deal with it. The only way to do it is to stop this life and go into this life. How do you want to choose? So trauma, anger, frustration, bored, sitting on the couch, waiting for the universe to deliver whatever you want. Happy is I'm affirming because I'm doing it all day long anyways. But I get to enjoy my life. So when I think about my husband, Jason, in this happy reality, I'm like, wow, I'm so blessed. I'm happily married. Life is wonderful. And this man adds so much value to my life. Thank you for marrying me. And I stay in this reality. Trauma marriage is, there's a third party. He's putting other people ahead of me. So now I have to affirm that I'm his priority. So I'm the number one person in his life. I'm the number one person. I'm always the number one person. I'm always the number one person. I'm always the number one person. Oh my God, I got to get rid of the third party now because he's cheating on me. Oh, there he goes. He's gaslighting me. So trauma is always manifesting. Trauma is always creating. And if you're always manifesting, then you see this person in the day, in night. You wake up in the morning, they walk out the door, you got to bring them home at 6 o'clock at night. So you are manifesting what they do. You are micromanaging them. Happily married, I am doing YouTube videos. I'm doing all of my other social media stuff. I am coaching people through video chats, audio chats, text messages. And I think about my husband and I'm like, wow, I am so lucky. I think about my bank account. Wow, I am really blessed. The universe is just blessing my bank account every single day. I am living in my dream house and driving my dream car. But I'll step this out one step further. You're in this reality and you're living in a $3.5 million mansion. You have servants waiting on you. You're driving your dream car and you're married to Jared. All right? Life is good, but you have no money. More money is going out than coming in. So you struggle to make the car payments, the mortgage. You struggle to have a good relationship. and they're always cheating on you. They're doing things that you don't like. All right? So you are constantly manifesting to be in this reality in all of your dream stuff. In this reality, where you're happily married to Jason, if I told you that you had to live in a tent on the beach, and if you lived in this tent on the beach for 18,262 days, you could be happily married to your person. You would have all the money you needed. You could drive your dream car. You could go on your dream vacations. You could have your dream job, but you can never move out of this tent. And you can go on vacation 6 times a year for 2 weeks at a time. And you have to come back to this tent. You must live in this tent. Which reality are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the struggle reality, the trauma reality, the constant manifesting reality? Or are you going to pick the reality where life is amazing and you get to go out and have fun? But you have to live in a tent on the beach. And there's no option 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing. You are either living in the tent or in the $3.5 million mansion. There's no doorway. There is literally, you have this choice or you have this choice. And that's what I mean about your story. So in this story, it's not good. In this story, you get everything you want with one condition. And what if I said you're going to grow old together? You're going to live out your dream life. Life is going to be so fun and easy. You're going to have things show up that you didn't even know you needed, and then you're going to need it, and bam, it's right there. This is what I want you to see. You're over here trying to manifest all of this stuff, but you need to walk through the doorway, and you need to stop talking about that, because that's how easy it is to let go. And it doesn't matter if it's Jared or Jason or any other name. But here is how you can stop this, okay? You're over here in the trauma reality. File for divorce. I'm divorcing the trauma reality, and I'm going to marry the happy reality. So if you divorce that, you don't want to talk about it anymore. You divorced it. You're done with that. You've moved on. And because you've moved on and you remarried into the happy reality, this is behind you. And you walk forward and you close the door. Because you divorced that reality and you married this one. Manifesting, conscious creation, raising your vibration, walking through into the vortex. It's this simple. The hardest thing you have to do is decide, do you want to be married to chaos or do you want to be married to happy? And if you don't want to be married to that, file a divorce. Be done with them. Move on. And create your happy bubble. Because I spent years here. And I would be on this side and this side. And this is why I say you don't need to heal your trauma. Because in therapy, my therapist is outside of the box thinking. And she's like, you have to choose what you want. Do you want to get past this or be happy? Do you want to stay in this or be happy? Do you want to keep visiting this or be happy? Because that's all you're doing, guys. You're visiting, you're getting traumatized, and you're coming over here. And that's why I don't think that we should normalize talking about trauma. Because this is the biggest analogy yet. Trauma Susie is with Jared. And she is in between, happy and miserable. All right? Now, Trauma Susie goes into happy. She cannot stay here because she's stuck on the bad behavior. So in order to be happily married, I have to do this. But you can only talk about one of these at a time. You can only talk about one of these at a time. So when you're constantly talking about this, nothing changes. But when you're constantly talking about this, things change. So traumatized and talking about it keeps you that way. But what's also not fair is that if you pull the trauma relationship into happy, you are now still disrespecting this person because you didn't change every aspect of your relationship. So you are happily talking about the trauma and you're smiling and you're enjoying your life and you're crying tears and I don't know what's wrong and I gotta change this. That's not true happiness. That's still living in the trauma reality and disguising it. It's like a Band-Aid or putting on a bracelet. You didn't actually change the story. You just started saying, I'm happy and life is perfect. And if it's perfect, you accept the in-between. And the in-between reality of trauma and happy is not a fun place to be. So you have one choice. And that choice is your peace of mind. Your peace of mind. It's all about what you now perceive and see as what makes your life happy. This is the change your story reality. I'm in one reality of trauma. I'm in this reality where I am deciding what I want and changing it to what I want is this reality. So to get unstuck, change your story. And then you create a short phrase that you can easily repeat over and over and over again. So you have a title: trauma reality, recreation reality, happy reality. Because there's an infinite number of realities, but we're only going to deal with 3 at the moment. We started with 2 when I brought in a third. This is what I do when I coach you. I take you from this trauma reality. I pull you into the in-between reality where you're recreating your story, and then I move you into the reality of happy, and you get everything you want. So I used to say it all the time. I tune in and dial up your happy meter. And I drastically change your life for the better. So if you went from this to this to this in a matter of days, weeks, months. So in 3 to 6 months, you can literally start here, go to your recreation, and then walk into happy. Did you choose to do it? And then did you allow the universe to deliver it? Because I choose to live in a happy reality. And I allow the universe to deliver me things in the most fun and easy way. Because I want a beautiful flow to my happy life. So I had to stop and move forward. And that's how I lived with a narcissist for 30 years, because I would be in this doorway, I'd be in the story doorway, I'd be in the happy doorway, and I constantly went back and forth. But because I used a simple technique of venting and then immediately changing the story, and then I did not talk about whatever he did, and then I would move over to here because I chose happiness. Every day I chose to find those reasons. So it's techniques, whatever it is that you use, scripting, speaking it out loud, affirmations, askformations, question, phrases, statements, gratitude, praising, raising your energy, stepping into a vortex. I don't care which technique you use. You still are in this story where you are traumatized, but you want to be happy, so you got to recreate. And this doorway allows you to recreate. And then when you create what you want, you walk into it, close the door, and it is a solid door. There's no windows. So I cannot look back, because even when I try, I can't see. And that's how I moved past an abusive childhood, an abusive marriage, into this reality. And when I say you can be traumatized and glorifying struggle and be happy, I've been there. I've done that. And I don't want you to be like that. So I'm giving you the easiest technique in the world. Create your story, choose the reality you want to be in, and close the door on anything that you don't like, because that is irrelevant. You're going to get whatever you want. So whatever's on the other side of this door is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what you want and how you feel in that moment in time. Because all of this is energy and motion. And you want to pick the emotion that you want to be in. So happy is an emotion. Laughter is joy. Peace. You got peace because you closed the door. But over there, you need strength, because there's so much chaos. I would rather be joyful and happy and have peace than be strong and have to deal with that crap. Think about what you are creating in your reality. Walk away from the chaos. Close the door and move into happy. It's that simple. No longer talk about the chaos. Talk about all the good things that are going on in your life. I love you guys. Have an absolutely positively amazing day. And as always, leave me a comment and let me know how I am drastically changing your life for the better.